There's nothing like a good old Disney movie to lift your spirits, especially one like Frozen. It's impossible not to fall in love with this movie's many characters, which can make choosing a favorite one simply impossible. Wait until the end to find out which Frozen character is set to swing the other way. New here? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the things a big thumbs up. Now, are you ready to hear some shocking Frozen 2 fan theories? Anna might have powers of her own. If there's one thing that's plagued every Frozen fan brain since the movie's initial release, it's Elsa's powers. While most people were fine with the fact that she was gifted with wintry magics, others asked themselves one simple question: where do these powers come from? Since it isn't too common for Disney characters to be born with abilities, we have to wonder why they exist in Queen Elsa out of all people. Some fans believe that the royal Arendelle bloodline has magics attached to it. But if this is true, where are Anna's special abilities at? The young princess might be brave beyond belief, but she doesn't seem to exude any powers of her own, unless of course she has yet to uncover them for herself. A popular fan theory is that Frozen 2 will showcase Anna's powers. So, what kind of magical abilities would the Ice Queen's sister possess? For the most part, fans believe that Anna could be the exact opposite of her sister, and by this, we mean that she might have fiery magics of her own. This could pose a threat for Elsa, especially if Anna doesn't learn how to control her powers. Could a warm summer be on the horizon for Arendelle? We hope not, for Olaf's sake. Tarzan, Prince of Arendelle. There is something special about every single Disney character. However, some of these protagonists beg for extra attention. When Elsa and Anna were young girls, their parents set out to sea and never returned. This caused them to have to grow up a lot quicker than normal. In the end, having the fate of Arendelle on their shoulders was not an easy task, but they made do. So, what happened to Elsa and Anna's parents, you might ask? A popular fan theory is that their boat shipwrecked, leaving them stranded on an island. Sound familiar? Well, that's probably because this is how the Tarzan movie starts. Their mother, who was pregnant at the time, gave birth to Tarzan on the island. While the theory was debunked for a few years in a row, it was later revealed as factual. So yes, Tarzan is Elsa and Anna's younger brother. This makes Tarzan a prince and Jane a princess by marriage. Some fans desperately hope that a family reunion will occur in Frozen 3, which has yet to be announced or confirmed. Are you surprised that these Disney characters are related? Cousin Rapunzel. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And while you're at it, can you tell us if you're related to Elsa and Anna? If you're a fan of both Tangled and Frozen, you might have read that there are many theories tying these two Disney movies together. Tangled first hit the big screen in 2010 and left many fans wishing for more. So imagine their surprise when Rapunzel and Flynn were spotted in the Frozen movie. Since it isn't too common for Disney characters to randomly cameo, the internet began to speculate about possible explanations. And this is why they came up with Rapunzel is Elsa and Anna's first cousin. This theory makes total sense when you think about it. First of all, Frozen aired exactly 3 years after Tangled did, which is when Elsa and Anna's parents set off to sea for a wedding. Our hypothesis is that the king and queen of Arendelle set out to sea to attend Rapunzel's wedding, but tragically failed to do so. Does this make any sense to you, or are we just grasping at straws here?
There's 20 feet of fresh powder down there. It'll be like landing on a pillow.
Kristoff is Santa Claus. With so many Frozen theories flying around, it can be hard to believe every single one of them. This is especially true because some tend to contradict the ones that came before them. If there's one fan theory we simply can't get over, it's that one that ties Kristoff and Santa Claus together. There are many reasons why the internet would believe that these two characters are one and the same, and they aren't as far-fetched as you might think. Did you ever find it strange that Kristoff's best friend is a reindeer? Well, you might not have said it out loud, but surely you were thinking it. Not only does Kristoff love reindeer, but he also rides a sleigh. But training a group of flying reindeer can take time to master. On top of all this, Kristoff was raised by trolls, which some might say have a lot in common with elves. Not convinced? Well, hold your horses. There's more coming your way. Kristoff is also a huge fan of snow, and probably has the rosiest cheeks we've ever seen. Lastly, his name could easily abbreviate to Chris, which is Santa Claus's first name. Wait, if Kristoff is Santa Claus, does that make Anna Miss Claus? Olaf will become human. Olaf is one of the most interesting characters in Frozen, especially since he seems to be a magical snowman of some sort. While some might speculate that Elsa's subconscious created Olaf when she needed a friend, the internet would beg to differ. Fans have concocted a new theory, and it's definitely adorable. Some believe that Olaf is actually a human being. However, he was cursed into becoming a snowman for the rest of his life. Although fated to be like this forever, Elsa's love for him might just be enough to set him free. A widespread theory is that Frozen 2 will tell the tale of Olaf and Elsa's love story. The fact that Elsa didn't have a love interest in Frozen has caused the internet to go wild with theories. After all, it isn't every day that a queen can rule without a king. Well, this is a modern-day Disney film, people, so get used to the idea. Would you be happy with this couple coming to life? If not, let us know if you think there's a better alternative. The Snow Queen. It's only normal for people to draw inspiration from old fables. After all, this is how popular Disney movies like Mulan and Pocahontas came to be. So why would Frozen be any different? Elsa's character was loosely based on the Snow Queen, which is an original story by Hans Christian Andersen. While this story is actually told in 7 parts, the same can't be said about Disney's interpretation of it. Some fans were a little peeved by the fact that Frozen didn't stay true to the Snow Queen's storyline, but they might be lighting their torches a little too quickly. Some fans believe that Frozen 2 will come back to its roots and make the Snow Queen proud. Should this theory be true, we might be introduced to an evil mirror that could cause a rift between Anna and Elsa. The fact that Frozen is based off this fairy tale doesn't technically mean that both stories have to end and begin on the same note. This is especially true given the ugly nature many fairy tales uphold. After all, we want Elsa and Anna to live happily ever after, do we not? Uncle Jack Frost. It shouldn't come as a surprise to hear that Frozen is one of the most well-received Disney movies of all time. After all, millions of people have flooded the movie theaters to catch its original release. What makes the musical masterpiece so endearing is its refreshing take on relationships. Frozen highlights the importance of family and friendship, which is a first. Family might be an important theme in Frozen, but the royal bloodline wasn't showcased in the slightest, and the origin of Elsa's powers weren't made public either. Since Disney left us all in the dark, the public thought it was wise to make up assumptions of their own. A celebrated internet theory is one of Queen Gerda being Jack Frost's little sister. This would basically mean that Jack Frost is Elsa and Anna's uncle. While this theory is highly improbable due to Queen Gerda and Jack Frost being from 2 different universes, internet fans don't believe it to be impossible. In the end, this relationship would explain where Elsa got her powers from. Would you be shocked to see Uncle Frost making an appearance in Frozen 2? We sure wouldn't. The Big Bad Trolls. Every movie needs a villain. After all, a straightforward storyline has little appeal. For a Disney movie to captivate its audience, it needs to be riddled with a handful of troubling obstacles. It's sort of hard for heroes to prove just how brave and selfless they can be. It's safe to say that Frozen's villain took us all by surprise. The adorable Hans never once seemed like the backstabbing type. This has caused many Frozen fans to wonder if there might be something more to the story. As many of you know, the trolls have the power to change a person's intentions, and some people believe that Hans' mind and heart were toyed with during Anna's absence. Could this mean that the trolls will show their true colors in Frozen 2? Should this be the case, there's no telling what will happen to the kingdom of Arendelle. After all, the trolls were the ones who told Elsa's parents to keep her powers hidden. Did you ever wonder how Hans found out about Elsa's powers in the first place? Something smells fishy to us, and surely we're not the only ones who can smell it. Elsa's upbringing. As Voltaire once said, with great power comes great responsibility. It's a lesson that Elsa put into practice very early on. When Elsa first realized that she had the ability to create snow and ice, the first person she wanted to confide in was her little sister Anna. At the time, however, Elsa's powers were too strong to control, which resulted in her nearly killing her baby sister. Since magic can spook the common folk, the king and queen of Arendelle saw fit to keep their eldest daughter locked tucked away. A popular internet theory is that Elsa's mom and dad weren't as innocent as they lead on. After all, they did have some curious material hidden in their castle. Do you remember when Hans imprisoned and chained Elsa in the Arendelle dungeons? If so, you might have asked yourself how he fabricated chains that could prevent Elsa's powers from escaping. The only explanation is that Elsa's parents had these chains made when she was just a little girl. Her powers are what make her so unique. It's clear that her parents were afraid of who she'd one day become, but obviously they were wrong in thinking that she'd be anything short of extraordinary. Elsa is a lesbian. It's only normal for Disney movies to include different types of characters into their storylines. However, Disney has yet to put a gay character as a lead. For some people, the idea of Elsa being a lesbian makes little sense, but for others, it's a revelation. Since it is highly uncommon for a Disney princess to become queen of anything without a king by her side, some fans have started asking questions. While most Disney movies end with happily ever afters, Elsa did not get married or find love at the end of Frozen. Despite the fact that she had little time for love during her epic journey of self-discovery, the internet believes this to be all the proof they need. So, if Elsa's really a lesbian, who's her lover going to be? Disney has announced that all Frozen characters will be present in Frozen 2. However, there will be an additional 2 characters introduced into the plot. Could the character voiced by actress Evan Rachel Wood be Elsa's future lover? If so, we'll only get the details when this movie hits the big screen in 2019. So, are you on Team Olaf or Team Evan? Let us know which couple you'd like to see in Frozen 2 in the comments. We hope these Frozen 2 theories lived up to your wildest expectations. Thanks for watching and see you next time.